What's up, you beautiful rock stars? Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals, pro vocalist, mental case, and vocal mentor. The reason why I like to be called mentor instead of coach is because a coach has a whistle. I don't have a whistle. I have a dog whistle. But I'm a vocal mentor because mentor has been down that road before. And that's why I prefer that title. I don't even like, look, let's not title anything. Today's video is a Monday Mindset Motivation video. I don't remember what episode. I think it's like 12 or 13. Not sure, but we're getting along there with these. Hope you guys like these. If you do, like and subscribe. Join the Chan Band if you want. That'd be really cool. And hit the notification bell. That way you get to see all of these and some of the other cool videos that I put out as well, like the how-tos and all that stuff. Getting to the point here, today's video is about stay in your lane, man. I got a comment recently. I think when I put up one of these Monday Mindset Motivation, it was like, I'm not going to quote the thing or name the person or whatever, but I'm just going to say it was kind of like a stay in your lane. You know, let the mental health professionals deal with things like this. Well, do you know what? I'm going to tell you why stay in your lane is for me, right, some of the worst advice anybody could ever take on board. Stay in your lane. Reason why. Okay, let's look at a 100,000 foot level. It's like, number one, the person who's telling you that thinks they have the authority to tell you which lane you should be in, right? Which is like, I don't know anybody who has any authority over me than me. Okay. And number two is anytime I've ever stayed in my lane, that is like you're not allowing yourself for growth. So throughout my life, I think I've gotten the hell out of my own lane in so many instances. And that is where I've really grown. So vocally, when I was, I was in high school, and I was getting assessed for choir. You know, where was I at or whatever. I think I was I was a baritone, assessed as a baritone now in choir, and that's the last time I ever really wanted to label myself, because that was like a stay in your lane. You're a baritone. This is what you're going to sing. But be honest with you, I liked what the sopranos were singing, and so I stood next to the soprano, I think being a baritone. I'm not sure. As I recall, I was standing there next to them, and I liked what they were singing better. So whereas choir really helped me from I think a pitch perspective, because I could listen to all the different ones and pick out the different pitches. That helped me a lot. So if you're struggling with your pitch, that's an idea. You could join a choir or something like that, where you can listen to the different harmonies, and you could pick the harmony to stick with and kind of practice that while the other stuff's going on. That helped me anyway with my pitch and harmonies and things like that. But getting to the point, which I do stray off a lot, and I'm not going to edit this because that is kind of contrary to everything that I'm really preaching with these Monday Mindset Motivations and things like that, with a lot of the stuff that I teach as far as bulletproof vocal confidence. There's a link down below which you can join that. So if I'm not walking the talk, then it doesn't really give you an example, I think, to follow. So I'm going to just lead by an example. I'm going to just do what I do and the things that have helped me. If it helps you, great. If not, I'm not going to try to edit myself. Because another thing is that, so anyway, just quickly, I'm going to get back to that here. But when I was standing next to the soprano, singing the soprano lines, and clearly I was either off pitch or she could hear that it was me or my voice, but she was like, stop singing the soprano lines. I was like, okay, it's all right, sing the baritone lines. But getting back to the anywhere, so when I'm performing, people might say stay in your lane, right? So I've heard that a lot, okay? It's between songs, I like to talk to the crowd and make jokes and stuff like that. But why? Because it fills empty space. No one likes empty space. Well, maybe some people do, but when I'm doing a gig and I am waiting for the next song, now, because I don't like to call this, I like to just engage with the crowd. So normally what I would either do when with my rock band, like one of the other guys will call. I'm like, I don't care, just play whatever. Like I'm just like, you guys know what you're doing. Like call the set. Either the drummer, who's really good at calling the set, or the guitar player, they would just pick out songs or whatever, just start doing it, and I would just sing whatever comes. And with the wedding band that I do, they do the same thing. Like there's one of the guys that's like the whatever MD, if you would call the what is it called? MD. I forget what that is. The Minister of Defense. No, the musical director. It's been a while since I've done musical theater, but yeah, that's what the MD stands for, not Minister for Defense. Anyway, see, this is what I get into. Like if I'm doing these normally, I would probably cut that out and go, no one wants to hear me like laugh about my own jokes, which like I do that when I'm doing a gig. I'm trying to get more uncomfortable. I'm trying to get more uncomfortable sitting in front of the camera. I'm trying to get more. I'm really only on just green tea, by the way. This is not like some kind of this is not any other kooky stuff. But that's delicious. I gotta have that green. It's matcha, green matcha tea. Beautiful. So when I'm doing a gig, I like to talk with the crowd, right? I like to make jokes, do whatever, and things like that, and just have fun and like, you know, crack jokes or whatever. But I've heard so many people say, play the next song, shut up. You know, so I'm just like, that's like, stay in your lane, just be a singer. Like, no, I like doing my own thing. So for me, and I've learned a lot about this through through experience of age and doing all of that training that I did when it was like, okay, so COVID, lockdown, you know, my lane was professional singer, professional wedding singer, and a lockdown was like, no more weddings. No one's getting married. No one's having any fun. No parties, no music. They said no live music for like 2.5 years in Ireland. It was like no live music anywhere. They opened pubs again, but they were like, no live music. So like pubs were like, well, what can we do? Like it's no. So it was pretty spectacularly like depressing from someone who loves to perform for people and actually makes their money doing that. When all that was cut off, it was not copacetic with my mind, body, and whatever. But I found something else to do. It was like this coaching program, transformational coaching program that I joined through one of my incredible mentors, Jim Forden. I'll put a link down below so you can kind of get an introduction to him. As I was introduced, I started listening to the podcast, grew and grew and grew, and then I got into one of his programs, which I found amazing. I did that over COVID. Over that 2.5 years, I did that a few times. I did that because I wanted to ingrain this stuff and you know, like shed all of the BS stuff that I was like taught about. Stay in your lane and do this. And so what I learned over that time was that nobody has any control over you. When you really think about it, and just to back this up, right, is that Viktor Frankl, who was in a Nazi concentration camp, had the same idea. Like they had complete control over his liberties, but he had the freedom of his mind. So when you really realize that, and the Stoics get into this as well. I've talked about the Daily Stoic book, which I find incredible. Do you know what? I'll put a link down below that. And these are affiliate links, so if you click on them, kaboom, I get supported. So click on them and support the channel. That'd be really cool. I appreciate that. And I'm just going to be out front. And you have to say it anyway. But I would be out front anyway. So, just getting to the point there. Stay in your lane. When people tell you to stay in your lane, don't listen. I mean, this is kind of advice to me, right? Like you could listen to it or not listen to it, but any growth that I've ever had, any successes that I've ever had is when I've gone out of my lane. Like choir, when I was told, stay in your lane, be a baritone. No, I wanted to sing like Queensryche. I wanted to sing the high stuff. So what did I do? I started learning how to sing higher and higher and higher and just extend my range. Now, every vocal coach that I worked with was kind of like going, well, this is your range, your natural range. And they really didn't like, none of them really understood from my perspective on how to increase somebody's range. It was all like, and a lot of this vocal coach stuff. And, I mean, like that's another case there. But what I'm going to say is like a lot of them just know, like, this is your lane, you're a baritone, stay in this. It's your comfort range. It's where you should be singing. So like, just stay in that lane. Okay. Well, but I wanted to bust out of that lane. So I did. And like, then as I developed my professional singing career, started singing all the high stuff, people started coming to me going, hey, can you teach me how to do this, and that, and like sing like the rock stuff with the grit and the power and extend my range. How do you sing really high up there like that? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, I love singing up high like that. And, they talk to me and go, well, your voice is so low. How do you sing like way up there? I go, I just developed all these things. Will you teach me? Okay. So I started doing that. I didn't go to college to be a voice coach or voice teacher or anything like that. So there's another stay in your lane thing that I've heard on the channel a lot. Is people like, oh, you're supposed to be a vocal coach. You tell yourself. And maybe they don't sound like that. Maybe they do. Who knows? But for me, I'm putting on the kid. You're supposed to be a vocal. But for me, that's how I read those comments. I go, you're supposed to be a vocal coach and you don't even know. So I just like read it like that. And then I just either ignore it or sometimes delete it if it's super nasty. I'm like, I don't want that negative vibe. I give them love, always unconditional love. I go, I love you very much, but delete. And then send them off to the universe with love. And so that's the thing, right? I didn't take like voice lessons in order to learn how to learn all the not the technique, but the all of the technical jargon and stuff like that. And there's so many, all the biology and all that crap. I was just like, I just want to learn how to sing. That's what I want. I just want to learn how to sing high, powerfully, rock stuff. And there was nobody that was like, well, here, I could teach you how to do that. Now, I grew up way back in the old days before electricity and or YouTube, where you could go on and like try to search for stuff. But so there was no tips or tricks on how to do this. I had to figure it out myself. For the most part. Now, I did have some help along the way, which I'll share in another video coming up shortly. But the thing is, that people say that's a stay in your lane thing. You're supposed to be a vocal coach, and you don't even know like the terms of like whatever. Like, I'm just trying to think of some of these terms. Like I've learned them over time because I've had to teach. Like I've had to teach at a college that teaches voice, so I had to learn a few of these things over time. But I'm just trying to think. I didn't know any of that stuff. I was like, kind of felt lost. It was like kind of, people say, "Well, stay in your lane." Well, this is like coaching people on vocals or like being a vocal mentor. In my case, was never really in my lane. But I just said, "Hey, this is what worked for me," and then it's. Lo and behold, magically worked for them. So I must be doing something right. So, and what I found is a lot of my one-to-one clients, students, whatever you want to call them, same thing, but I like to call them clients. It's more professional. Students is like, little kids or something like that. But most of them come to me and say, well, I've studied with, famous person A, famous person B, C, D, and like they've never told me any of this stuff. Most of them just like, I won't get into it too much or name names or whatever, but and then I do a few things with them, like, and even after one session, they're like, oh my God, this is like working. I've never heard this before, but this is actually working. And so it's kind of like, it's not necessarily my lane, but like it's helping people. So like whatever, like now it's my lane. So you could get in the kiss my ass lane if you have a problem with it, right? Now, maybe this will work for you. I'm just sharing what's worked for me. I just get the hell out of my lane, and that's helped me to expand everything. Like getting into the the mental stuff, as far as like not necessarily just mental stuff, but as far as like the mindset, like, and the coaching and things like that. Like, had I just said to myself, no, that's not my lane, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to just stay in my box, in my lane. Now, I will admit, like I did with the vocal coach, like, I don't know everything. I don't know all that stuff. Like, if you want to know all the terms and all these things that like are, I suppose it's like the technical jargon and like biology and stuff like that, I'm not your guy. But if you want to learn how to sing rock, like, well, extend your vocal range, not lose your voice or have pain or fatigue or anything like that, I'm your guy, because I had to do that myself, and I can give you what's worked for me, and lo and behold, that's worked for my one-to-one students. So I think that's it for today. It's a little bit of a harping session, but anytime someone says stay in your lane, for me, I've just gotten the hell out of it. Don't listen. I just drive all over the freeway. And now, don't hurt anybody else in the process. That's the caveat to all this, is like, stay in your lane as long as you're not crashing into other people. And I think, live and let live. Oh, green matcha tea. I love it. I switched from coffee. That's another story. That's in another video. But if you join the Chan band, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Smash the like, smash the notification bell, whatever the kids are using, whatever the terms are that the kids are using these days. And I will see you on the next one. Rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. Thank you.